What do I run around here? Lando. Of course, everybody is familiar with Lando Calrissian, the Star Wars character. And if you're not, why aren't you? So, I read this graphic novel. It's just titled Lando, or I guess technically Star Wars Lando. It's published by Marvel, of course, which is owned by Disney, also, if you didn't know that. But this was written by Charles Soule, or Soli, I don't know, and illustrated by Alex Maleev. There. And this one, I believe it's a prequel, but exactly when it's supposed to take place, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. In fact, I would even venture to say that this is supposed to take place way before Lando ever even met Han Solo, and of course, obviously, way before he met, any of the other more popular characters like Luke or Leia or Chewbacca or C-3PO. Yeah. So yeah, and this one, I like that it offers somewhat of an insight into the character Lando. Not much, but at least somewhat. So it's just, it shows how Lando, when he got started, and he started as a smuggler, and he pretty much got by on his charm, and I would also say wits, but mostly his charm, and he pretty much would just charm the pants off a lot of people, and yeah, a lot of women, female beings. In fact, that's how this graphic novel starts. He charms the pants off of some woman who, I don't know, like, she's got access to something that he's trying to get a hold of or something. Actually, in a lot of ways, in this graphic novel, Lando reminded me of Han Solo. When Han Solo when he kind of got started in the whole smuggling game business. Except for in this, Lando, he doesn't have, Lando, he kind of has a sidekick, but more like a partner, I guess. And his partner is called Lobot. It's this guy named Lobot, and he's got these, like, weird kind of, like, implants in his head. And it almost looks like if, like, I don't know, like some kind of visor, or like just one portion of some high-tech helmet or visor or something. It just like wraps around, not completely around his head, but just goes from one temple to the other temple. But yeah, I don't know, supposedly there's some kind of organisms that, like, I guess they're kind of like nanobots, or like these really small robotic organisms of some kind. But yeah, anyways, Lobot, he's kind of like, a walking, talking version of the internet, or something like that. I don't know. It's never really, like, fully explained. I don't even think Lando himself even really completely understands how, these, like, micro robotic things, like how they affect Lobot's mind completely. But so anyways, the bulk of the story in this graphic novel, eventually Lando, he steals a ship that he's not supposed to steal, but he does it because he's trying to get even, he's trying to settle his debts, much like Han Solo had, well, I guess much like any other smuggler. And so he steals the ship, and it turns out that it belongs to Emperor Palpatine. So, of course, Emperor Palpatine being, like, really bad guy, as who's part of the dark side of the Force. And so pretty much, so he steals the ship along with Lobots and a couple other guys who agreed to help Lando steal the ship and then smuggle a lot of these artifacts that are on the ship, because it turns out to be like this pretty large collection of different artifacts and other memorabilia type stuff that are associated with the dark side, the Sith. And so, yeah, and then they realize that, but then also, too, at the same time, Emperor Palpatine, he's aware that his ship was stolen, so he hires this, like, tracker / bodyguard type person to go after them. There's kind of a twist there. I don't want to give it away, because, like, eventually towards the end, this tracker person that Emperor Palpatine hired eventually does catch up to Lando, and it turns out they have some kind of history. And I won't say any more than that, but because I don't want to spoil it, because then also it would spoil the end. Which I like the ending, the way it ended. But before that, there's an interesting part where something happens, because even though there's all these artifacts, priceless artifacts, on Emperor Palpatine's ship, there's one designated area of the ship that has, like, supposedly, I guess, the most powerful artifacts within it. And I guess they're so powerful and so full of, I guess, the dark side of the Force that they're actually guarded by these two special guards that were, like, handpicked by Emperor Palpatine, just to guard this one area, this one closed off area of the ship. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I don't want to give away too much, but eventually there's these like two, like, cat-like beings. They're part of the team that agreed to help Lando steal the ship, but these, like, two cat beings of some kind, which I want to say, I don't know, they're supposed to be partners of some kind. And eventually they turn on each other, they turn on everyone else, including Lando. So yeah, and I mean, that's pretty much like, they end up having this, like, pretty decent fight scene. I mean, cool, action-packed. And it's rather, I would say, like, there's not really that much action in this particular graphic novel. It's more like just a lot of talking, a lot of kind of like trying to get to know each different character, and yeah, essentially for me, it kind of reminded me of like the recent Solo movie, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I do recommend watching it, because I enjoyed it. I reviewed that movie a while ago. But yeah, this graphic novel reminded me of, in the Solo movie, when Lando first meets Han Solo, and he comes off as this like really this suave guy, but you could tell he's a con artist, and essentially he comes off as like a suave douchebag. Very suave, very smooth, very charming, but ultimately, a douchebag. And, because he's very selfish. He's only looking out for himself, and so that's what this graphic novel reminded me of, because that's how he comes off in this graphic novel, the same way how he came off in that movie. So, I would venture to say even like in the other Star Wars movies he's been in. Yeah. So I think that's like the bulk of Lando, of the character Lando, is that, yeah, he's suave, he's smooth and charming, but he's a douchebag. He's selfish, arrogant, and just always looking out for himself. And I know like some people might try to lump in, that might try to say that Han Solo is the same way, but really he's not, because there's moments when eventually Han Solo gets to the point where he stops being selfish. So I can't really say the same for Lando, or at least as far as this graphic novel is concerned. Towards the end there is one part where it was like he could have easily just ran away and not accept any of the consequences, but he didn't. But also too, it wasn't because he didn't run away because he couldn't. There was no conceivable way for him to run away, really. So I feel like maybe like the writer for this kind of, like in this graphic novel, they try to make it seem like Lando is becoming less selfish, but really, no, towards the end of this, he still ends up being the same selfish, suave, charming douchebag. So that's pretty much the bulk of it, I would say, as far as, the story is concerned, because I didn't want to give away too many of the details, but there's an interesting twist, kind of a twist, and so ultimately, I would give this 4 out of 5 stars, definitely. There were certain things in this that I wanted to know a little bit more about, such as, the guy Lobot I was talking about. Because it just seemed like there wasn't enough information given about him, just about that character, Lobot. Wanted to know more about that. Also about the 2 cat being characters. I never even, because they seem like really cool characters. I had never seen them or heard about them ever before in any other Star Wars graphic novel or comic book or movie. So, they just seem like awesome characters. So, I guess I would recommend this to any Star Wars fan, sci-fi fan. Or if you're a fan of just watching suave guys get away with stuff, which I kind of feel like there is a market for that. So, because otherwise, why would stuff like this exist? So, that does it for my review of this graphic novel, Star Wars Lando. And once again, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.